Yo, Big Kish back up in here. Shout out to Marcus at Work Media. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to this video. It says DJ Head's powerful insight about Kendrick. And he says something in there. I watched a little bit of it. I always had this question like, yo, why in Kendrick videos like he had his stone face? Like he don't be like no facial expression, none of that. And he explained it. And I thought it was interesting. So yeah, we about to get into this video, y'all. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Welcome back to Marcus at Work Media. So today we got DJ Head. DJ Head did an interview explaining a little bit more behind the scenes of how the pop out took place, a little bit of Kendrick's demeanor in real life, what he thought of the beef, the situation of where Dot is right now with the GNX album, all of those good things he's kind of shedding some light on with this interview. So let's jump right in.
If you didn't drop the lawsuit, or if this lawsuit wouldn't have happened, if this lawsuit wouldn't have happened and he would have just dropped some music, we would have literally forgot about this shit. And it just would have been a new year of new music. You didn't have to do this. He's reminding us about the battle. Wait, question for you.
What?
After the battle, he shouldn't have came out with that whack music trying to force it on to us. He was trying to force like all that Wagwan Delighted, the thing he did with Sexy Red. All like he was just trying to, yo, I'm going to make them like me again. No, bro. No. Like trying to take the shine away.
How do you think this will change the way that people battle rap moving forward?
It's not.
Because I think Drake's forgetting about what he did to Meek Mill.
It's not going to change anything. This is literally not going to change anything from a music perspective. It's all self-serving, and I don't see a W at the end of this. Not from a legal standpoint, from a cultural standpoint. But I've been saying that since the spring.
So according to DJ Head, the pop out was kind of like a secretive situation. Dot didn't really tell anybody. Top didn't really tell anybody either. They just kind of say, hey, bro, show up at this place at this time. It'd be good for LA, right?
Are you talking to Mustard directly? Are you talking to Kendrick directly? Does he tell you guys, hey, this is what I want to hear? Or does he just say, y'all do what you want to do because you have that relationship?
From the Dot side, it was, I know you got it. Like, I know you know what to do. Like, make history. You know, I did have a conversation with him at the forum the day of the show.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like catching up, and you know, because we had talked during the whole back and forth. Like we were in communication, mostly text, but I talked to him verbally a couple of times, and his temperament is always, if you watch the Squabble Up video and you see his demeanor, it's just stone face, and he just don't give. That's literally his demeanor.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Damn. That's wild, bro. I used to always ask that question, like, yo, why is this, like, he ain't got no facial expression in the video. It wasn't just Squabble Up. It was, damn, what's the other one? Not Like Us. In the beginning, Not Like Us. Well, really, the whole Not Like Us. Like, no facial expression at all.
Crazy, because that song is turning me up.
That's literally his demeanor.
So they showed up, they got some information, and even while the event was about to take place, there were some changes along the way, even surprising to DJ Head. Now we know the pop out was one of those landmark moments for Kendrick, LA, Compton, and all of California music in general, really. He was able to
Bro, that's a huge crowd, bro.
Kind of put on for the city in a real big way with all positive vibe, no drama, no conflict, no violence, and everything showed and displayed hip-hop from the West Coast in a positive light.
To the world out there that don't know what's going on, I don't know what you don't know. The individuals on these stage, man, yo, come on, man. Y'all don't know how we put this together, man, and it's unity. Y'all just don't know, man.
Which is a big thing from where they're coming from, because a lot of times West Coast music is dictated as gangster rap. So a lot of times that get the negative stigma is they all about violence or whatever. Nah, we about unity too. We about connecting with the people too. Yeah, we got different gangs, different communities. They normally don't get along, but Dot is making a point to try to unite a lot of those communities. If music is the way that that's possible, he's all for it.
He even said it.
Yo, they down there going crazy, boy.
If music is the way that that's possible, he's all for it.
He even said it on stage at the end of the show. Like, I want the world to see this shit. I want the world to see what we are capable of, because everybody loves to paint the picture that LA is this. We took these rappers from we killed these rappers and we did this, but they never show that type of shit. Right. And so it's always the riots and Rodney King.
They don't show the positive.
The fires so it wasn't like F this person, F that person, and that was actually told to me too. Like, that ain't what we own.
Right.
We pro us.
Just to tell you where Dot is in his mentality, I would be imagining that Dot, when he dropping these tracks, he's dropping these diss tracks on Drake in the middle of the battle. You would figure, he would be like, with Joker face, so with the Joker laugh, finger on the upload button, and just loving every minute of it, because it's like, hey, bro, you asked for this, so I'm giving you the drama, bro. Let's go in. So that's what we kind of expect of what it would have been like if we would have seen him during this time. But DJ Head tells a different story. DJ Head is like, hey, bro, I hit him the day Not Like Us dropped. And his response and demeanor was like this.
When the day that Not Like Us dropped, I called him that night. And I was like, yo, you won, it's over. Like I was just going crazy. Like, this shit is crazy. It's over, woo woo. And he's like, yeah, for sure.
I knew.
Not even I knew. He was just like, yeah, for sure. He was eating food. Like,
that's it.
He was eating some food. He was like, yeah, for sure. Like,
yeah, when you put that work in and you already knew what it was going to do.
It wasn't like excitement. It wasn't like, it was just, it was just like it was just Tuesday.
Wow. So yeah. Damn. That's kind of crazy, because I wouldn't have imagined that it'd been like that. I mean, when I hear it, it sounded about right. He was like, hey, bro, I'm used to the smoke. I'm from Compton, nigga. We get down, like, whatever. This is regular. This is a Tuesday type shit, right? So he goes into more detail about the landmark decision that Dot made in order to set this up. And people think that Dot just kind of stumbled into this direction in this epic run that he's in, but a lot of the time, it was methodical every step of the way. DJ Head says Dot does not do anything without it being planned or structured out completely. So it's like how much it is, he already knew it was gonna go down. It's hard to say, but it seems like it mapped out perfectly, but
he's an over perfectionist.
Your head is like, hey, bro, it even go way back to when they first started. And he's kind of telling California's influence in music and how the West Coast got a bad rap with music, and a lot of people wasn't trying to hear their sound when they were trying to get off the ground.
Do you think Drake's position in this and how I feel the West Coast kind of got ostracized from hip hop a little bit because of all the things you talked about is like us as a whole, West Coast hip hop kicking that door down, that gatekeeping down is like, nah, this been our lane. We've been carrying this and riding it.
You know what's interesting? I asked that very same question. I asked all of my big homies. I asked Ice Cube that. I asked Dog about that. I asked Dot about that. I asked Warren G about it, and they all said the same thing. They just don't fuck with us.
They don't.
And that's exactly why Kendrick spearheading the West is so important, because the West Coast do feel slept on. The West Coast do feel neglected by a lot of the main publications that recognize hip hop and rap music. So now they feeling like they got some life dealing with Kendrick Lamar and his run, that they're backing it up. I mean, right after that, you got Snoop Dogg dropping the album, you got Ice Cube dropping the album. A lot of the different guys from the West Coast and TDE rosters going up too. They're following it up in order to reinforce the West Coast influence in music, because they just feel like it's their time right now, which I don't blame them.
Artists talk about it.
It is their time. The West is up.
Labels talk about it. Kendrick is regional. It's some LA stuff. And I've seen your rebuttals about it. Is there still regional music, or is it artists are making worldwide music? Like, what is it right now? What are we at in music?
To be honest, if I'm being completely transparent, like I told Dot this too. Like, I've been waiting for him to make this GNX album. I've been waiting for this for 10 years. Because you gotta think, when Good Kid, Mad City came out, My Crazy Life came out.
Right.
Two completely different type of album.
Yeah.
But people look at YG, like that's a West Coast, that's an LA guy. Kendrick was for the world.
Yeah.
But the world rarely gave us credit for Kendrick. They know he's from Compton, but when he's mentioned, he's not mentioned as our rapper. He's mentioned as just one of the
Kendrick
greats.
Lamar, yeah.
And that's only because he's not publicly gangbanging.
No, that's because sonically he doesn't represent us
sonically.
in those ways.
So a lot of people will categorize YG as West Coast music, LA music, right? Which, okay, that's understandable. He does have that West Coast sound. But a lot of times, Dot, before GNX, before some of his other albums, his sound was so unique. It does have West Coast influences, but it's not necessarily the West Coast the general public is known to associate with the West Coast. Because Kendrick.
I get what they're saying. He wasn't strictly just Chuck Taylors and Dickie suits, and you know what I mean, and just throwing up the West, and like he had his own. He developed his own unique style. You know what I'm saying? He was able to, separate himself from that hardcore. But I mean, I still see the West in him though. Like, so I really don't. I still see the West. I still see him represent. I don't know. Maybe it is a difference between that hardcore gangster rap and his own unique flow. You know what I mean? But he can rap though. Like, Dot can rap. Storytelling, he got all of that combined. He's not no one trick pony.
Doesn't limit himself with his sonic direction. People, when they think of Kendrick, they didn't realize that he was from the West Coast. A lot of the newbies that's just now stumbling across his music couldn't place exactly where he was from because he's that diverse, because it wasn't the historical West Coast, Thiz kind of sound, West Coast, Snoop, Dre kind of sound. So a lot of people did not acknowledge Kendrick as being a part of the West Coast until this whole battle.
I think regional music needs to make a strong comeback, because everybody sounds the same.
Yep. Why, in order for it to change.
Why are you from Memphis and you sound like you from Atlanta? And why are you from Atlanta and you sound like you from Texas? And why are you from LA and you sound like you from Atlanta? And why are you from New York and you sound like you from Florida?
Right.
I like listening to music, and I listen to.
Yo, why you from New York and you sounded like you from Florida? Damn. I would have said Chicago. Hold up. Why you from over here? You sound like you from Chicago.
The Fat Joe, and I know he from the Bronx.
Yeah,
it's very specific.
He from the Bronx. I hear it. I know what he's saying. But again, hip hop is street urban culture rooted.
Yeah.
How do you know what's going on in the Bronx? Because Fat Joe told us with Bronx music.
So Kendrick is more of a West Coast artist that's regional with global influence overall. So DJ Head is all for bringing back regional music. If you was from Atlanta, you got that Atlanta pop. If you when it was Nelly and the St. Lunatics, you had that St. Louis vibe sound. It was unique. The East Coast, the Harlem niggas, the Brooklyn niggas, all of them cats have that East Coast sound, right? So it's like, it's a good thing that each different region bring in their own unique sound versus what it turned into when all the Atlanta had to run. It all turned into everybody mimicking the Atlanta sound. So now everything is kind of merged in, and it kind of limits the uniqueness of the sounds coming out of that region. So he's for getting back to the roots of everybody having their own unique sound. So with Kendrick having now that West Coast sound, he would like to double down on that for everybody to have their unique sound. So he goes into a funny background story. Why do Dot do all the voice changes with the cadence and the pitch and all of that? It's kind of unique to him, right? Because before that, a lot of artists, especially in hip hop, didn't really do a whole lot of the cadence and pitch change. So he shares the background story of How did that happen? Why did he start doing that? And was it intentional?
He would just go over there and be at Top's house. And in the back house, he had this little back room set up like a studio. And they was just in there rapping on that busted ass mic. Fun fact, the reason why you hear Kendrick start doing the little funny voices on records, and you know how he do characters, that's because Ali.
Hold on, he about to cook, y'all. Y'all pay attention. He about to cook. Ali is his engineer.
That's because Ali, shot the mix by Ali, that's my brother, like, he started to tweak his voice because the mic was fucked up. So the mic was fucked up, so he started playing with his voice so that you couldn't tell the mic was fucked up.
That's where all those little...
That's where that started.
Yeah.
So
his
like,
little background type.
Little tweaks. Yeah, Ali started doing that so he could mix around the broken mic. That's...
Wow. So it all came down to having lack of resources, just getting started, had a busted mic, and they were just trying to...
Hey, it's beauty in the struggle, man. It's beauty in the struggle. J. Cole was right. It's beauty in the struggle. Dot do all them voices because they had a messed up mic, bro. That's crazy.
Mask the audio for it to sound better than what it was because the mic was fucking up, right? And he just stuck with it, and it just became part of his sound. That's pretty dope and unique, and that's an interesting backstory on why that is and how that contributed to his style in present day. So now he's saying that Kendrick's name, Kendrick Lamar, he made an intentional, deliberate name change because he wanted to widen his appeal to, one, mark his music as being authentically from himself so they can place a name to the music, not just a persona, but he's also saying that, hey, I'm changing the name because I know where I'm gonna go with this. This is not just gonna be a LA thing, that's gonna be part of it, but I'm gonna go global with this, and having that specific name that's tailored to exactly who I am is gonna make it an important mark going into the next level of his career.
K-Dot changed his name to Kendrick on our show.
Switched it, or you suggested to Kendrick Lamar?
It was an intentional thing because he knew where he was trying to go. Like, we knew, like, oh, like, he finna do some different. He's about to do something different. But I think the changing of his name was an intentional thing to kind of launch what he knew would be a legendary run. And I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it looked like he was like, okay, I want to be more than a rapper, right? I'm an artist.
I'm not speaking for him, but from my vantage point, there was an intention to change his name because he was like, I want to be me.
And it did just that. So even back then, when cats wasn't even trying to hear TDE or hear Kendrick or hear Absol or hear any of these guys that are trying to make their mark in the city, he made that deliberate change and seen that vision from even back then. Now, back in the day, he also tells that, hey, a lot of cats wasn't fucking with TDE.
I don't know, like, people wasn't fucking with us. They weren't. That's just the truth. People was not fucking with TDE.
They weren't paying attention.
They didn't care. They was like, oh, they weird. All that stuff. Like, you know, I've had conversations with the homies about that, where certain entities and individuals who, you know, man, that should, you know, because at the time, you got to think, the whole world is going oonts, 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 and they doing, you know, intricate raps and little melodies, and you know, they just doing something different.
Timing was
different.
It's the
blog era.
It's a known name now due to Kendrick and the work they've done, especially with SZA and some of the other artists. But before all of this, cats, it took years, and nobody was really checking for TDE. Even in the town, they wasn't checking for TDE. They was like, ah, man, that's them weird niggas, whatever. They wasn't really rocking because they used to that traditional West Coast sound. It took them a while to build that up to what we see today. Give your thoughts, put your comments below.
Yeah, that was a good one, y'all. That was a good one right there. Shout out to Marcus at work. Appreciate that one, bro. That was fire. That was fire. But yeah, that's the interesting part. We don't know, like, everything that goes on in the background. And I'm happy he dropped that. Like, wow, that's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? It's beauty in the struggle. Like, whatever you got going on, just know you gonna get through it. They sitting up there with a broken mic, and look at the idea that came from that broken mic. Different robot voices and alien voices and all that. You know what I'm saying? That is fire, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think. in the comment section. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.